Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chase, and today we will continue to master the meta with a strategy that can be paired with any attack in the game, the Queen Charge. So let's get started. The Queen Charge, or Queen Walk, is basically your Archer Queen with a bunch of healers keeping her alive while she takes down large portions of a base to eliminate valuable buildings and to help with funneling for your main force. A Queen Walk is when your queen stays outside the base, and a Queen Charge is when you funnel her into a base. The reason the queen is used instead of another hero is because of her 5-tile range that allows her to reach into compartments that other troops and heroes wouldn't be able to get to. And her damage and fast hit speed allows her to deal with defenses very quickly. Her range is also beneficial because the healer's range is 5 as well, so combined the healers can stay out of range of air defenses while the queen shoots them down. Healers do 56 healing per second to heroes, which is less than they heal on other troops, and their healing efficiency drops for each additional healer after 2 added to their target. These updates were made to balance out the Queen Charge, which stopped people from just placing 15 healers on their queen and letting her run around the entire base. So what is the ideal number of healers to burn? Well, the stats show that the healing efficiency drops down to 90% for the 3rd and 4th healers added to a target, and down even further to 70% for the 5th healer, and drops even more after that. For Queen Walks, where you only need value on the outside of the base, 4 is sufficient, with a 95% healer efficiency. However, a lot of attacks at higher Town Hall levels require a bit more setup, so 5 is recommended for Queen Charges. Since you're trying to get deep in the base, you're more likely to run into Seeking Air Mines and you'll probably lose a healer. So the 5th healer is basically insurance. Just in case you lose one, you won't have a dramatic drop in healing. However, you should take Seeking Air Mine protection into your own hands by bringing balloons with every Queen Charge attack. Balloons only have 5 housing spaces and are the smallest air unit that can trigger Seeking Air Mines, so it makes sense to use them to protect your 14 housing space healers. And to get in the base, you'll need a solid funnel for your queen, so troops like baby dragons, yetis, sneaky goblins, and wizards work very well. Although I personally like the baby dragons because healers don't heal air units, and they won't transfer off the queen like they sometimes do if yetis are too close. You'll also need wall breakers to get deep into the base, so it's time to ask yourself this question. Do you want to fail your wall break, or do you want it to succeed? If you chose the second option, congrats! Use the super wall breakers. And if not, you're either lower than a Town Hall 11, or you enjoy pain and suffering. Now that you can have 2 super troops, super wall breakers are basically always used for Queen Charges due to their reliability from their health and their death damage. Headhunters are also nice if you plan to run into enemy heroes, which is very likely. Rage and freeze spells are a necessity to keep your queen alive, and jump spells can be used in order to get your queen further into the base. Rages increase the healing output of the healers and increase the damage of the queen so she can deal with defenses quickly before they do too much damage to her. Freezes should be used on areas of high damage, like scatters, heroes, expos, the town hall, and single infernos, or to keep the healers alive if they get in range of air defenses, multi-infernos, or the town hall beams. Usually 3 rages and 2 freezes are perfect, and you probably won't need them all for the Queen Charge, so you can use them on the main force. 5 healers do 252 healing per second on the Queen, and 453.6 healing under Rage, so you can plan out your freezes and rages in areas where the DPS is higher than that. For example, 3 expos firing on the Queen is 555 DPS, so for every second under Rage, the Queen will lose about 100 health. Not too bad when her health pool is 3,390, and she'll probably stay alive long enough to take out some of those expos before they whittle her health down to nothing. But add on, say, a scatter shot in the enemy queen, and you're looking at about 1500 DPS, which would kill the queen under Rage in about 3 seconds or less. This is the time to either freeze, or just not charge there in the first place, and try to take on each defense one at a time. Now before I geek out on any more stats, let's get into the objectives of the Queen Charge. The Queen Charge generally has 2 main objectives to set up the next stage of your attack. Number 1, you want her to get high value buildings, basically any defenses that can cause problems for your main attack. For example, Scattershot's Decimate Hybrid but your queen is only one unit with a big health pool, so she won't take too much damage. Another good example is the Town Hall. The Giga Blast can wipe out an entire attack, but the queen can sidestep the Giga Blast due to her range. And the second objective is setting up a good path through the base for your main attack. Let's face it, planning where to send in your hybrid on a base that looks like this is much harder than on a base that looks like this. My general rule of thumb is to have the remaining path, or at least the entry point for the main force, to be as wide as the Warden's Aura, which is about 18 tiles give or take. This allows for an Eternal Tome that hits all of your troops, and spells that cover more troops since you know exactly where they're going. Before you start a queen charge, you need to plan it out. Knowing what to look for and what to avoid is important for a successful queen charge, as you want her to get the value you need for your attack to work properly. Avoid areas with a lot of DPS, especially if you can't freeze it all, and be wary of defenses that the queen can't reach that might pose a threat. Now, the Single Inferno is a tricky building to deal with in a queen charge. On the one hand, if you can get to it without anything distracting the queen, she takes it out with a rage before it can heat up. However, defenders recognize this and will try to trap your charge. A lot of bases have Single Infernos protected by the Clan Castle, which is a nightmare to deal with if the Clan Castle troops get in front of the Inferno. You may end up using multiple rages and freezes, and then still have to pop your queen ability. That's why if you want to charge into or next to a Single Inferno near a Clan Castle, then you should always use a Yeti Blimp on it. Your queen will not only have less damage on her, but her pathing into the base will be more defined, and you can deal with the Clan Castle troops away from defenses on the outside of the base. Always take note of where the Clan Castle is in the base, and make sure your queen can kill the Clan Castle troops without too much extra damage on her. If not, then, as mentioned before, bring the Yeti Bomb. Hound Headhunter Clan Castles are popular right now, and would stall up your queen in a high damage area, forcing you to use more rages than you would like to. Then there's the Super Minion Headhunter Clan Castles, which are also very strong against queen charges due to their high damage output. Best way to deal with them is to poison the super minions and freeze the headhunters, or you can bring 2 poisons for them. Be aware of defenses that can kill your queen through her auto ability as well. Even though the queen goes invisible, projectile defenses could be in mid-attack when your ability goes off, and they will still land their blows. Defenses like the Scatter Shot, the Eagle, enemy heroes, and Clan Castle troops like super minions can all kill the queen through her ability if they were shooting at her when the ability triggers. Even stacked giant bombs can wipe her out after auto ability. This is why I would plan out where you'll need to use phrases, and you should always manually pop the queen's royal cloak before she gets too low, and only in dangerous situations. Also, watch out for air defense and multi-inferno placements. Defenders will try to make your queen path right around them, and they can pick off your healers and ruin the queen charge. Make sure you have a plan to deal with them if you charge near one. Now, taking all this information and putting it into your gameplay can be very overwhelming, but with time and practice, you will definitely get the hang of it. With these tips in mind, we can start getting into strategy, how to get the queen to where you want her to go, and how to keep her alive. To get her into the base, you'll have to understand basic funneling. Troops follow the same logic when it comes to picking their next target, and everything is calculated so there is no randomness involved. When you place the queen down, she immediately identifies the 3 closest buildings to her, and targets the one that is nearest. After taking that down, she then calculates the next 3, and then so on and so forth. To manipulate her pathing, you can use funneling troops to eliminate the other 2 of those choices, so she has nowhere to go but to the desired target. You'll have to predict which 3 are closest before she finishes her current target, so you can place funnel troops accordingly. Another note is she does prioritize walking around walls, so you have to make a bigger funnel if you want her to step into a small gap. You can also wall break to get her into the base. Wall breakers target the closest building behind a wall, and they destroy that wall in front of the building, so you can use this to plan out exactly where you want to wall break. Since Super Wall Breaker's death damage can bust through walls, you can use him to open up small gaps so the queen has an easier time stepping in. Send out the Super Wall Breaker without a tank in front, and time it right so the defenses kill him as he reaches the gap. This takes a good understanding of how much damage he can take, and a lot of practice to get the hang of it. Now that you've got her into the base, you have to keep her alive. Rages should be used in areas of high damage, and when placing a rage, drop it on the tile that the queen is standing on, to get both the queen and the healers to increase their healing like mentioned before. When you get more comfortable, there's also the aggressive rage, where you place it only on the queen, but in a way that allows her and the healers to move into it as they approach high damage. It allows the queen to stay raged longer and speeds up the queen charge. Keeping the queen alive also means keeping the healers alive as well. Without healers, your queen dies. Test balloons are necessary, as the defender might have trapped the area with seeking air mines intended for your healers. Balloons can go in and trigger them, saving the healers and your queen charge. Place a test balloon right before you drop the healers and continue to trickle them in as the queen charge gets going. You can send them in as you place a rage, so the balloon can speed up into the base. Best part is the balloons under rage outspeed seeking air mines, so you can potentially pull a few of them with just one loon. Then all you have to do is freeze up defenses if needed, and you have a solid queen charge running through the base. As the queen charge is coming to an end, meaning you got all that you needed, you can choose to let her die out, which allows for the healers to transfer if you have a ground army, and get some more value keeping the main force alive. Watch out when sending your main force that it's not too close to the queen charge, as the healer's AI prioritizes groups of troops that need healing. And if you're struggling with the queen charge, try to understand what you need to get better at. If your queen always walks on you, practice figuring out the building she will target next. I like to watch someone else's replay of a queen charge and pause as she moves to each building, and then I try to predict which building is closest and where she will go. If your queen is dying a lot, maybe there was too much damage in that area and the plan was faulty. Or maybe practice clan castle kills, running against Hound, Super Minion, and Headhunter CCs. But it will always take time to become comfortable with queen charging, so don't give up if you're having problems, and you'll get the hang of it with patience and persistence. And that's going to do it for the queen charge guide. This was by far the most challenging video I've had to make, so if I've missed anything or I didn't make something clear enough, leave a comment below and I will get back to you. Thank you so much for watching, and definitely subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll be continuing this series to showcase everything that's currently viable so you know what the meta is. Now, get out there and go crush some bases.